There is a Utah family that has been in the news recently. YouTuber Ruby Franke, and then her business partner, Jodi Hildebrandt. And Jodi is used to be a licensed therapist. I don't think I wasn't able, so I didn't search it to see does she still have an active license. Her license was restricted at one point for an ethical reason. You can search it to see what it was, but basically, she disclosed information about a client to their church leaders without their consent. It was an adult that she did this with, and she had to take some ethics courses, and she was no longer listed on the LDS referral list. And it's just, this case just has a lot. To me, there were quite a few red flags along the way. I think one of the treatment of the children in the videos. And so during this, I will also talk about the law in Illinois that was passed to protect child content creators. Because I think if a law like that had been in place, there might have been more protections for the kids. I think it's also very interesting some of the statements that have been released by the older children that are out of the home, where they refer to their mother as Ruby. And the fact that they have supposedly been making allegations and things known for a while. And so hopefully those were formal complaints and there will be a record of that, because even if a case is not founded, there's still typically, like, if DSS opens a formal case or if they take it down as a founded complaint, you can normally see a list of complaints. At least that's how it is in Virginia. I don't know how it is over in Utah. But let me just share an article that kind of goes through what this case is all about. The reason why I wanted to talk about it is because sometimes, like, she had millions of followers. I think it was like 2 million followers over on YouTube. There were all of these people watching what she was saying. And I guess she would give parenting advice. She had been hired by her business partner, by Jodi's company, to also give parenting advice. And so my heart breaks because there are people that are in need and that need help, that have been looking to these two for help with their family, with their own mental health, and then to have this happen. So let's go ahead and go through it. I will hop back into the comments to look at those after we just take a look at a few of these things. Ruby Franke, a Utah mother of 6 behind a well-known parenting YouTube channel called 8 Passengers, because she has 6 children, and then her and her husband. It's my understanding that her and her husband were separated and that he was living elsewhere, and her and the children, I think it might have been whichever children were still in the home, that they were living in Jodi's house. And so it was just Ruby and Jodi that were charged, mom and the business partner, with multiple counts of aggravated child alongside business partner, blah, blah, blah. After Franke's 12-year-old son showed up at a neighbor's home appearing malnourished with open wounds. And from everything I've seen, there was duct tape, like he had been physically bound and looked malnourished, and he was asking for food and water. He escaped out of a window at the home. And let me just show, because one news station showed what the home looked like. And so this is NBC News. And so this is what the home looked like, that he escaped out of that window, and that he went to a neighbor's house for help. I am so glad that neighbor called, because sometimes people are like, I don't know, sometimes people don't want to get involved, or I don't know. Like, I am so glad, because if he had been caught, or like, I shudder to think like what might have happened if he hadn't reached safety. They also, after a search of the home, they also found the 10-year-old daughter was in a similar malnourished state. and Hildebrandt's counseling firm, Connections, where Franke works, did not immediately respond to requests, blah, 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 whatever. Franke's husband, Kevin, was not named. It's not clear whether they're still together or not, blah, blah, blah. And so then they go into who she is and all of that stuff. 8 passengers. So YouTube did shut down the channel. And there was a petition, I guess, back in 2022. Yes. So her kindergarten, so I guess maybe it was back in 2020. I said 2022. I should have said 2020. So there was a 2020 petition. Let me share that. Okay. So CPS investigation into 8 passengers, and it had over 17,000 signatures. And wow. So I hadn't even seen this yet. So they've been producing content since 2014, 2015 regularly, and have been the subject of controversy. Oh, wow. Taking the youngest at the age 3 with just a diaper on. But another was when she told us Russell did not have autism because it was something along the lines he was not intellectually challenged, which doesn't have to do with autism. I don't. So these are just allegations. I don't know if any of this is true. She sent her son to a behavior camp, which focuses on kids who had done drugs. All right. But the thing that I saw that was concerning was that she, because on a video, she talks about the fact that her 21, I saw the number 21 in my brain. So her 6-year-old daughter, or I guess she might have been 5, because her kindergartner had forgot her lunch. And she, I guess, posted hoping that nobody fed her and that she went hungry that day. So for kindergarten, so I put my child's lunch in his book bag. So my child is in 1st grade now. It is not his responsibility to make sure that he has lunch or even his snack. So I make sure he has his snack, and I make sure that he has his lunch. And if for some reason I ever forgot, I would want the school to make sure that my child was fed. And for elementary school in my county, the kids, they will let them get a lunch and they'll charge it to the parent's account, and the parent just has to pay for it. And no problem. I have never forgotten lunch. I have forgotten to pack his snack, and his teacher has extra snacks that for when parents forget, they just have extra snacks for kids. The fact that she was making a 5 or 6-year-old, like kindergartner, like if you forget your lunch, then I just want you to go hungry. That's just very odd. And then one of the children lost their bed for like 7 or 8 months and had to sleep on a beanbag. Another child, I guess the 2 youngest children lost Christmas one year for not, it's just Frank. Okay, thank you. No context. You don't pronounce the E, so it's just Frank. Thank you. I appreciate that. But it was a lot and very concerning. I think there were a ton of red flags along the way, but I did want to go to Connections because I wanted to look to see if there was anything that would have made me go, on the Connection site, because some people have called this like, and I'm not saying this is what it is, I'm telling y'all what people have said. Some people have called it a cult, or like that there's some distortions or something. Was it distortions? Is that the word? That everyone has these, there's some word that starts with D, but there's something that like is her big thing that she focuses on and thinks everyone has it, and that's why they need her treatment. I don't know. But she markets herself as a coach, so she's not marketing herself as a licensed therapist. Often when you're not working under a license and you're operating as a coach, there's no ethics board that you can report a person to. It just becomes a Better Business Bureau, or like your local, like it's a lot harder to when you have a complaint against a coach versus a licensed therapist that's under the board of counseling, or I'm with the board of psychology. And so I didn't see anything, truth declarations, mode of choice. I don't know. Like nothing was
Depression.
like incredibly just out there. I don't know. Um, I don't know. And so let me get to that Illinois law. So, because they passed a law to protect child influencers, and um, and with that, because there are risks of child exploitation, even potentially by the parents. And it would ensure financial compensation for minors defined as children under 16 who are featured in blogs or video blogs. And blah, blah, blah. Because I think being able to protect these kids to make sure, because some families, they might turn content creation into their full-time thing, and nobody's making sure that these kids are still in school, or that they are that any portion of the earnings are being kept for them, or just whatever rights that the child does have, similar to like child actors. Because right now, social media influencers, that doesn't fall under like child labor in most states. California might be different because California, like it's already has acting and stuff. I met someone that registered their, they had a large account for their dog, and they actually registered their dog so that they would have periodic inspections by a humane society to make sure that they were properly taking care of, of their dog. But let me know if there are any question divergence. Thank you. Was that what it was? I don't know. But there was some word. I'll have to go back and look at some of that stuff later. The fact that, because somebody asked me on a comment, they were like, what if what I went through, if other people don't think it was traumatic? And for me, because I'm guessing some of the family knew that some of these things were going on. We saw these things in like plain sight, because she would talk about the ways that she talked to her children and disciplined them openly. And if somebody was bringing their child to me for treatment and they were engaging in some of these things, first of all, I would have to assess, is this emotional abuse? Because that's a real thing. I can't imagine. Oy, like, is there neglect? Because withholding food. Now it's different if I give my child food. So we are about to start our child on some new foods. He does not like new foods. What I normally do is I say, in order to get your dessert, like you have to eat a certain portion. You have to eat it all, but like you have to try it. So my kid won't try anything. So it's like, hey, you just have to try it, and we'll see. His diet is very beige right now, which is similar. It's common. He eats fruits, but like so we're trying to introduce some new things. I tried a new service, and if I like it, I will definitely share about it here. I do a meal prep thing for myself, so I do a meal delivery service for myself, and they had one for children, so we are giving that a try. This is week 1, but children are supposed to try to get their way. So it's unrealistic to think that a child is never going to lie. It's unrealistic to think that a child is never going to be disrespectful. Now, as a parent, that's when I have consequences. I have certain things. I think I told y'all about my son hiding my phone, right? Like, did I tell y'all about that? And my phone is like, but he recorded a video, so the battery ended up going out, and so I wasn't able to find my iPhone to find it, and and he just had a regular, like, it wasn't anything major. I didn't yell at him, I didn't scream at him. Yelling and screaming at children, it actually puts them in survival brain and it shuts their thinking down. So if I want a child to listen and hear what I'm saying, or it also can put them in a bit of a trauma response where it's like, I'll say anything for you to just not, do this. I will answer this question, and then Phoenix, I will tell y'all the full story about what happened with my phone. Can you explain to us the levels of children's abilities to moderate their behaviors, both based on parenting as they age? I don't think yes. So I agree. I don't think 6. And then also, so let's say my child has ADHD. Even at 15, they might not be able to remember their lunch money, or they might not be able to do their homework independently. So it's not just age, it's also maturity. And maturity has, it's their social intelligence, there is emotional, there are all of these different things I have to take into account as a parent. So under the age of 4, I'm so glad my kid is 6. Things got easier under the age of 4, because I have seen people like pop a child for crying, like a 2-year-old for crying. Like 2-year-olds are going to have tantrums. Now, there's some children that are a little bit more emotionally wired or a little bit more emotionally sensitive, which means they need more support to learn how to manage big emotions. So it's not that I need to punish them more. Like I need to teach them some skills. I need to partner with some people to kind of figure out these things. And then if my child, so under the age of 4, you have boundaries, but they're kind of figuring things out. They just got language. They have no emotional control. Like the prefrontal cortex, the ability to think before I act, make good decisions. What? Up to the age of 4, we're just laying a solid foundation of attachment and security. Now, I'm still going to have consequences. So I'm not going to let my 3-year-old hit me. So that's where in my Amazon resource list, I have hands are not for hitting. I talk about boundaries with kids, emotional boundaries. My kiddo knows I need space sometimes. We do quiet time. So if our child is home, so that's what I can record from about 1 to 3 because my child does quiet time, and that's what we do because I need a break. I need a little break during that time. Parents, I can't parent from a place of where I'm completely dysregulated. I'm reacting to my child's behavior. I have to be able to respond, which is easier said than done. So a lot of my work is with parents. So if a child is under the age of 6, I only do family therapy. I don't meet with the child like one-on-one a whole bunch because under the age of 6, or it's all parenting. And then older kids, I do meet with them one-on-one, and then I also meet with everybody as a system. I talk with everybody, and so let's go into the quick story time. I meant to share Phoenix's. There we go. Let's real quick. So so our son was taking his bath, his shower, and I have an Oculus and I do a fitness game called Supernatural. So I was going to do a quick workout while he took a quick shower. I can hear like nothing's, like he's safe. There's another parent in the home as well. So it's not just me. So I go in the Oculus to do that. And he asked if he could use it. Well, it's bedtime. No, sir. It's bedtime. You're going to bed. You can't use the Oculus today. And so I think he got mad and he took my phone. And there's a whole 50-minute video because he recorded a video of because he was trying to take some pictures because my phone's locked. And when it's locked, he can only take pictures. And so he ended up recording a video, and then the phone ended up, I think, under his bed. And I end up looking for the phone for the rest of the night. But around 12 a.m., I'm just like, I guess, okay, it is what it is. I don't have my phone. I think it was Friday. It was definitely a Friday night because the next morning we were going to Trader Joe's and we were going to IKEA. And so when I woke up in the morning, I told my son, I was like, hey, we can't go to Trader Joe's and IKEA until I find my phone. And he was like, wait here. I'll be right back. I knew. I knew. It was like, oh. And sometimes parenting, you have to laugh to keep from crying. Like trying to find a little like, oh. And my kid is a mini me, okay? So I had a funny conversation with my mom. So when my kid messes up, he comes and tells me. He's like, "Mommy, I'm sorry. I did this." So the other morning, I went downstairs and I couldn't find him, and he was hiding under a coffee table with my iPad reading books. He was hiding, and so he was like, "Mommy, I'm sorry. I was being sneaky. I was reading Epic." And he was reading books on my iPad. But he's supposed to ask. So the boundary is that you're supposed to ask. And so for both situations, his consequence, so he loves TV time. So his consequence was he didn't get his normal TV time for one day, like not even like weeks, or because he has no concept at 6 the value of my phone, the value I place on it. like like I'm the one that's like, that's my phone. Like, please don't hide my phone. I know that he does not. And so I was talking with my mom about the fact I think he comes and tells me because we don't use physical discipline. So I was spanked, but I just got sneakier. Like it did not make my behavior better. I just didn't do it around her, or she doesn't know what I did and didn't do. Like I just tried to be really like it didn't make, or if I didn't do the thing, it wasn't because it was wrong. It was because I didn't want to get hit, which is an external motivation. It's not me not doing the thing because I know it's wrong. And so, positive parenting, conscious parenting, whatever you want to call it, those strategies, it takes longer to see change, but that change is lasting because the kid is actually internalizing whatever it is that I'm actually teaching them. So my kid, he comes and says, I know what I did was wrong. Let me just tell you what I did. And then we also, so in our family, we have everyone makes mistakes. Now there are consequences. So everyone makes mistakes, but there are consequences. And we also have that hey, um, even if so him taking my phone, I was I was mad. But that isn't that anger. I don't need to take that out on him. It's not his job to make me happy or make my emotions okay. I'm a bit addicted to my phone, so not having it that night, like it was fine. Like nothing bad happened. So because I have an iPhone, I can still call and text from my computer. My husband had his phone. Like everything was technically fine. I was just really inconvenienced for one night, and so um, someone mentioned I had to learn this as an adult in a business concept. Yes, it's better to call out problems ASAP. Exactly. And so that little stinker, I know he is, but he is me. Okay. So everything he does, I'm like, oh, I would have totally done that. And then because he's not, even if he tries to lie, like he's not good at it. Like, so today we went out for a bike ride and he was supposed to take a shower after we got back in because it's pretty warm. We went out for a bike ride and he didn't want to take a shower. So I caught him changing his clothes instead of taking the shower. So it's like, dude, get in the shower. And our consequence was, because normally he would have had some TV time before lunch. All right, no TV time. And so we have time in. So when it's really no TV, that's a punishment for me. So that's why some parents don't like taking away electronics and stuff, because I got to play, which was fine. So I ended up playing with him for a little bit. He did have to play independently for a period of time. I only have one child. And so if you have more than one, they get to play together if they play together nicely. But yes. Um, and so let me see. I thought I saw someone mentioning um, let's not disparage those. So I guess I missed some stuff in the comments about borderline personality disorder, and And sometimes people use humor. Phoenix is one of one of my original people here, and people do kind of use humor sometimes to talk about things. Um, uh, but let's be respectful. Yes. So borderline personality disorder, incredibly treatable, lots of boundaries, all of that good stuff. It often comes from a very painful place, and I view it as a skills deficit that the person has to learn how to take on those skills and all that. But any other questions about the Ruby Frank case? That's my first time saying it correctly. And then also, I like the fact that there is so much that's available on social media now. If I was looking for a therapist, I would see if they had any public social media just to be able to look and see is this person the right fit for me, because they might not be. But those were the main things. Let's talk about the Illinois law, where they're doing some things to protect kids, and it sounds like it's mostly financially. And then, because I wonder if there are going to be other things about making sure that they are educated, that they're in school, that they are only working for certain periods of time. When I watched the Duggar documentary, the fact that they were just always recording and always, and I think a lot of those things have changed. Where with kids, they're not able, but that's with like media companies, not parents, because I do think always recording all the time, I think that can cause problems. And they call it sharenting instead of parenting, where they're constantly sharing what they're doing. But yeah, I'm glad. So these two streams one day, it'll only happen every so often. I could have combined the two, but they were separate, and so they might attract different people that want to see different things. If y'all have things that y'all would like for me to cover, make sure to leave it in the comments on the video, and we can kind of go there, and we will definitely do that. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.